Opinions. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got different opinions. And I think that's perfectly fine. The problem is, people are fighting with each other over art and pop culture. There's a sort of culture war going on. And I don't understand it, to be honest. I understand having um, a favorite thing, you know. This could be my favorite movie, my favorite video game, my favorite whatever, favorite book, TV show, whatever it is, favorite characters. That's all fine and dandy. But this particular tribalism and hatred that people, spread is really annoying. Now, maybe it's my own fault. I've been spending a lot of time on Twitter. That's on me. Twitter is a fucking cesspool of shit. And people are very hateful nowadays. There's. You can't really have a civil conversation with people. You can't discuss the things you enjoy or you don't enjoy with other people without them getting mad. Very angry. Calling you names, calling you an idiot, whatever, all kinds of slurs. I don't really stand with that stuff. To me, this isn't human rights discussions. This is art forms. You know what I mean? You're talking about pop culture here, so in like for some things I do understand, like with sports. You might have a favorite sports team, and you may hate the rival teams and support your team. That's fine. I think that's okay, as long as you're not acting like an idiot, which most people do, but I do understand the sense of loyalty to a team. But when it comes to movies, directors, music, video games, all that stuff, it's just ridiculous. And I've seen a lot of that lately. I'll give you some examples that I find extremely annoying. One example is, I'm going to talk about, I like comic books. A lot of them, there's a movie getting hated on a lot lately, Supergirl, which is fine. If you don't like it, that's fine. I thought it was an average movie. But that's the thing, it's an average movie, in my opinion anyway. And people are acting like it's the worst movie of all time. Now, this isn't Catwoman with Halle Berry. This isn't, Batman and Robin. This isn't Four Stick. This isn't, Morbius or Madame Web or anything. This is not on that level of bad. Anybody saying that is just disingenuous. And you don't have to like it. You could think it's mid, whatever. Some people love it, some people don't like it. That's fine, but very disingenuous. People don't like it just because of, a lot of people don't like it just because of Millie Alcock. They're slandering her online, calling her ugly and this and that. And it's just ridiculous. And I think that there's a lot of bias that goes around against DC. I'm a fan of both because I like comic books, so, to me, picking a side is kind of ridiculous. But you can have your favorite, but picking a side just and blatantly hating the other is ridiculous. There's a lot of Marvel fans online. Glaze every Marvel casting, glaze every film. Everything Kevin Feige does is genius. And then when it comes to DC, everything's bad, everything's horrible. They become this Roger Ebert, big critical analysis expert philosopher, knows everything about cinema. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, Very overanalyzed films. They'll be like, oh, cinema's just something you enjoy. You could just enjoy movies and not think too hard. And then when a DC movie comes up, they're like the analysis. They're just analyzing every second, every little detail. Oh, this is bad because of this, or there's too many characters in this movie. But Deadpool can have some, million cameos. A nonsensical, script, meta script, whatever. And that's completely fine. And you can enjoy those things. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. It's just I hate the bias one side or the other. Another example, the hatred for James Gunn is ridiculous. You don't have to like his movies. You don't have to like, you know, how he writes things or stuff like that. But I have a friend who is a huge Marvel fan, and I remember him glazing James Gunn when Guardians of the Galaxy was coming out. Talking about how it was some of the best movies he ever watched. Loved James Gunn. He was pissed when they fired him. And all of a sudden he's at DC. Well, those same people are there. Oh, well, he's an egomaniac. His movies aren't that good. He's a flop. It's like you're just a hypocrite. You know what I mean? Very weird sense of tribalism, very biased. Nobody can just enjoy things anymore. Everything's got to be overanalyzed, hated. Very weird. Same with I'm a big Halloween guy, for example, and I know a guy who's a big Jason Voorhees Friday 13th fan, which is cool. I also like Jason. I just love slasher movies. And I told him I preferred Halloween, and he was like telling me Halloween movies are garbage, they're nonsensical, they make no sense, they're repetitive, and I'm like, you're a fan of the Friday 13th movies, they're the exact same thing. Nonsensical, repetitive. You know what I mean? I just enjoy it because I like slashers, you know what I mean? So it's just very hypocritical because you prefer one thing or the other. Like, I wasn't hating on him because he preferred Friday the 13th. I wasn't, saying shit about the movies. I'm like, oh, cool. You know what I mean? And, so, my other buddy prefers Spider-Man over every other character, and that's cool. But he's very almost kind of like condescending and hateful when it comes to any other characters. You bring up Superman, you bring up Batman, you bring up pretty much any DC character, he's kind of condescending about it. Whereas, he's glazing, like Spider-Man every second. Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out, was the best movie of the year. It's like, I didn't think it was very good, but, I still don't think it's very good, but that's for him to enjoy. I'm not going to put him down for it. But, I like that to be reciprocal as well because, I don't like people putting me down for the things I enjoy and talking shit all the time about stuff I enjoy. It's just like, I enjoy a lot of different things. And I even agree with some of the stuff they enjoy as well. Like, I enjoy everything. DC, Marvel, Japanese stuff. I got some horror manga over there. I love slasher movies, horror movies. Musically as well, people are tribal. You gotta like Metallica or Megadeth. You can't pick one or the other. Well, I like both of them. Resident Evil fans, another one. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and there's the people saying you can't like the remakes, you have to like the original. There's people saying the original sucks and the remakes are the only good ones. People are saying that the new game sucks because blah 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 blah. I love all the types of Resident Evil games. I grew up playing the originals. Love those PlayStation 1 games. I grew up playing Resident Evil 4. I love the remakes. Part 3 not so much, but for valid reasons. I played that game a lot, and I still think it's fine, but it's not great. But that's, I'm not gonna go crazy over it if someone likes it. You know what I mean? Same with the Resident Evil 4 remake. I love that remake, and I love the original. Resident Evil 2, I love the remake and the original. I love them both. Same with the first Resident Evil. The Resident Evil 1 remake is my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. It's amazing. And I loved Requiem. I loved even the Ethan Winter ones. But some people think Resident Evil 7 is the best game, and I don't. But I'm not going to tear that game apart because I don't agree with someone's opinion. So I wish people would just start having healthy debates, healthy discussions, and stop spreading hatred. Not everybody's wired the same. Not everybody likes the same things. Just enjoy life. Why is there so much negativity? Just sit down, read a comic, watch a movie, play a game. Or if you're chronically online on Twitter, go outside and touch grass.